I wanted to take a couple seconds just before our video, our normal video happens, just to talk to you a little bit about how the COVID-19 virus is affecting Marvy and I. I'm not going to talk about it any more than right now, unless it directly affects us tragically. I don't like the clickbaits and the sensationalism and all of that. You guys know what's going on. You've got your own concerns in your families and your businesses and your lives. But I wanted to give you this update right before the video that you're about to see right now, and let you know that Marvy and I are doing great. We're camped out in a little pond area near Sharon, New York, and I'm still walking across America. There's no restrictions that prohibit that, and it's a great, in fact, they encourage you going for walks with one or two other people. And so really we are kind of the ultimate social distancing right now. Things are going to be a little bit difficult trying to find places to stay, and I think if it gets more serious, we're going to find hopefully not too much resistance from people to let us park where we need to park or to get water. That's our only concern, is water. We have plenty of food. So we're all doing good. We're having a great experience. We're going through this tragedy just like you guys are. But this is the last time I want to talk about it, mainly because I want our channel to be a place where you can go and just relax and have fun and take your mind off the other 23 and a half hours a day where you have to live through all of this and with your own challenges. So that being said, you know, just because you don't hear us talking about it doesn't mean we're not as concerned as you are. We would just like to focus on our trip and our experiences and put that on YouTube to provide you with a little bit of fun and a chance to just take your mind off it. So this video is going to be with our friends Kathy and Ned, and some other friends of theirs had graciously invited us to make maple syrup and at their homes, and this is going to probably be the last video that you will see us hanging around very closely with other people. It was done about a week and a half ago, long before the virus has reached to this level where people were really concerned about social distancing. So that being said, from now on it's just going to be Marvy and I, or me, sharing experiences on the road. I'm going to try to make them as entertaining as possible, and so please please subscribe if you haven't, and if you have other friends that you think would enjoy watching these because they're really tired of watching regular television while you're staying at home, have them subscribe. And of course, you know, leave comments. You know, we have a lot of time on our hands while I'm not walking to answer your comments, and we really appreciate all of those people who've commented before. I really do appreciate you folks that have responded on GoFundMe, which is at Walk Across America 2020. If you just search for that on GoFundMe. We love our Patreons, but the main thing is just enjoy our videos. If that's all you can do, we really appreciate it. Take a couple minutes and let us know how you're doing. And other than that, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy the video, and we'll see you down the road. Say hi, Ned.
Hello, Rob Marvy. How are your feet?
Come on. Yeah, so we're about to go on an amazing adventure. That was Ned and our other good friend Kathy. Say hi, Kath.
Hi, everybody.
Ned has a friend who is sugaring or making maple syrup from the sap from the trees, and so we're going to walk over here and see how real maple syrup, not log cabin, not Aunt Jemima, but the real deal. So let's take a look here. Okay, so we're going to taste just what actually comes out of the tree itself. and it looks like water.
Yeah.
It tastes just like water. Yeah. So how did they know whenever they started, like they go, oh, this is going to make great, let's call it maple syrup.
No, like
No.
many great inventions, it kind of happened by chance. What we think is back when the Native Americans discovered maple syrup, it became that they were collecting water from the trees to drink, just like that.
Uh-huh.
And some of the early stories are then it froze, and so there was skim ice on the top. And then what do you need in the morning? But you need warm water. So they warmed up what was left in there. So the first evaporation process actually came from freezing, we think. And so then as they heated what was there in the morning, it became sweeter as it heated. So that's how we think maple syrup was discovered, but I'm sure everyone has their own story about it.
I would have guessed that maybe just a long time ago a maple tree caught fire, and after it burned down there was like this bottle of maple syrup, and
That would be nice.
it probably
right?
wasn't that. Okay, so and what do you have here? Do you have different? I see this is this just brown on the bottom? So do you do this in stages or what?
Well, what happens is we put the sap into here, which we call a feeder pan. So this is all sap, and it's trickling in. You can see we have this valve that has a trickle in slowly. So the idea is that the rate of evaporation and the input of the sap is relatively equal. This is not quite boiling yet because I just started the fire, but after we go around you may see later that this will just be boiling from one panel to the next. So what happens is the sap comes in here, and it's hard to see, but there's a tiny hole here at the bottom of each canal, if you will.
Oh, I see it.
So it flows naturally into the center one, and then it flows here. There's another hole here, so it flows into that third canal. So it's coming in sap, and then it's getting thicker to become closer to syrup by the time it gets to that last corner closest to you.
Okay, so wow. And then what happens here? Then it goes into a bucket?
So yeah, it doesn't go into that bucket. That was just me cleaning.
Oh,
So
those are your
now
socks. My God, maple socks.
what we do is we draw off here, and then it goes through a filter at this point into a pan, and then we bring it over here to what we call the finish cooker. So this has been already cooked down on that evaporator, and similar process over here because we want the evaporation and the input to happen simultaneously. We feed in cooked down sap here, and then this is our finished pan.
Okay.
So when it's all said and done, this pan gets filtered into a pot, and that's after we've tested it with a hydrometer to see that it has
The
right
viscosity, the right
Exactly.
viscosity.
Yes. Yes.
I saw that on YouTube. It's a big word,
The
viscosity.
viscosity is measured in brix, BRIX.
Oh,
Brix.
I did not know
That's
that.
the unit of measure for it. And you can measure it hot or cold. We measure it hot most often.
So, I mean, as a rough guess, how would you convert the finished product from the raw product in volume? Would that be?
That's a great question, and we track our ratios. So in a good year, we're 45 to 1. So 45 gallons of sap equals 1 gallon.
Hence the price of maple syrup
Hence the labor of love. Exactly.
and the cost of the wood and the everything else.
We kind of look at this as a way to tend our property, right? So we burn all pine out here. So this is all wood that has come from trees that have either fallen
Okay.
or we've taken down to put solar panels in, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you guys want to keep this in mind. If you grumble about the price of maple syrup, think about that now, 48 to 1,
Yes.
and the amount of work that goes to it. So I guess that's a lot more cost than if you just buy log cabin because that's just corn syrup and it's probably no ratio.
Right, corn syrup with a tiny bit of this in there.
Oh, they
maybe.
actually use real maple? I thought they would just use
Maybe.
chemical
Or
flavoring.
flavor, yeah.
You know what they do in Mexico is, I mean, they walk around selling honey, and I mean, they throw in chunks of honeycomb so people will think it's really honey, but when you taste it, it's just corn syrup,
Right.
you know.
You get to know the difference between the maple flavor and actual
Yeah.
syrup.
Yeah, I certainly do. We haven't had maple syrup in 30 years, I think. And Marvy only had her first taste the other day in
Oh,
a
really?
restaurant. Yeah, so
Nice.
it's a real
We're
treat
gonna
for
have
us.
some of yours tomorrow for breakfast.
Oh, we can
right.
send you with some of this year's batch as a special treat if you want before you
Ooh.
go. Do you want to see the taps? And
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like asking people, you know, a child saying, "Where do babies come from, Mom?" She's going to tell me where the sap comes from.
This is the most common way of seeing the trees tap. This cover just keeps things from falling into the bucket. So it's running. Well, it's kind of cloudy. It's not really running right now.
He's not feeling good.
So we drill a hole in here and then put the tap in. And on a good day, you will see the flow coming right out the tip of this.
Okay.
But it's been kind of overcast today, so it's not, the sap's not really running.
Wait, overcast? Oh, because of transpiration? No, there's no leaves. Why
Well-
does overcast, or is it just because of the humidity or temperature?
Really, it's the temperature is the most has the most impact on it. So
Okay.
the sap will run when it's above freezing during the day and below freezing at night. The other way that we tap is with tubing. And we're big into repurposing as much as we can. So we like these water jugs that have nice handles. And this tree has 2 taps into 1 jug. You can see there's a little bit in there. Those will overflow on a good running day.
Oh. Very cool. And are you tapping just sugar maples or different types of trees?
We tap just sugar maples.
Okay.
There are silver maples and red maples, but the sugar content's not as high.
I was asking Kathy on the way over here. She said that you can tap a lot of different trees, and I asked her about telephone poles, and she said no, telephone poles wouldn't work.
No,
So-
you get some sappy lines on there, but they don't turn into sugar, right?
That's right.
Like could have your trees tap.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk to Scott, who's the other half of Rebecca in this industry of maple syrup. And is Scott? Say hi, Scott.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I got a question for you. Rebecca covered most everything, but my question is the different types of trees. Is there a preference? I know sugar maple, I don't know anything what I'm talking about, but sugar maple trees are the ideal tree. What's
Sure.
your...
They're
Yeah,
kind of the only tree.
they're kind of the only
Yeah.
tree.
First of all, you want to avoid the trees that have wires on the top and no bark on them. Don't tap
See,
those.
I said that earlier. I asked if we could do telephone poles, and great minds think alike.
So sugar maples. In other areas, red maples can be tapped, and they generate sap with sugar in them, and silver maples also. But the sugar percentage is much lower, so you got to boil a lot more, and it makes a darker syrup. So it's really not efficient, unless that's all you have in your area. And there's some parts of the U.S. that make syrup from those because that's what they have. But around here, it's just worth tapping sugar maples because they're fairly plentiful. In the Northeast, that half and half.
Oh, nice.
This will take a little bit.
We're having some hot coffee on a cold day using sap. Should we call it water now? Sugar? No, we still call it sap.
Sap.
Still call it sap. Still it's syrup.
And then,
And we call it syrup.
Right.
and then we call it syrup.
Oddly enough.
You know, none goes to waste. Like
But then we still call it coffee though.
we do. We tend to call it maple coffee.
Maple coffee.
That has like 1,000 views of people watching him time lapse to build the ski jump. Oh.
Oh, the building of the, oh yeah.
Yeah, the building of the ski jump. Wicked cool.
Okay, and the adult version, the adult part of this video is we just had this coffee made using the sap from the sugar maple tree as water for the coffee.
I just went right in the house.
It's really good, and we actually are now going to take a little bit of some homemade Kahlua and add that in. So you can't watch this if you're under 18. This is what everyone's doing. Salute.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
So this is a little special treat for you to take on your journey and enjoy together.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's so sweet. I get it. All
Oh,
right.
he don't like it sweet.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
It's all for you. We can give you 2 bottles if you need to keep them separate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my bottle, I don't want you to waste a good bottle. Just put it in a gallon container. A plastic jug is fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much.
I think
And
I'm
Rebecca.
making my in the morning for breakfast.
Pancake. Your
The
pancake.
pancake.
Yeah, but wait,
Yeah.
you look like you have diabetes. I better take that.